Let's just admit it. Skylar Thompson is not a good quarterback. It's what it comes down to. He cost us the game. You put him out there. He throws an interception. Skylar Thompson is he's just not the guy. He's not the guy that we thought he was. But you live and you learn. So Skylar Thompson, you absolutely choked the game away. It is what it is. All right, no, but in all seriousness, that was the worst game I've ever seen Tua Tagovailoa play. In fact, I might say that game was worse than the Tennessee Titans game. I mean, after the first freaking play where we went 75 yards, scored a touchdown on the first play, he was horrendous. He was absolutely horrendous. And we are going to keep it a buck. He played like shit. And he is the main reason why we lost this game. I think the defense played well enough for us to win the game. The offense did not execute, and that's because Tua could not hit his fucking receivers. It was the worst game he's ever played. Now, with that being said, do I think Tua Tagovailoa is not a franchise quarterback anymore? Absolutely not. I still have the utmost confidence and belief in Tua. Quarterbacks have bad games. Josh Allen had a terrible game against the New York Jets and lost to Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes has had bad games and lost to bad teams. Steph Curry has shot 2 for 15 from the three-point line in a playoff game. It happens. It's the NFL. You're going to have a bad day, but you just have to call it how it was. He was terrible. Overthrowing Tyreek, that ball to Jeff Wilson. Everyone's like, oh, it hit him in his hands. Well, it should have hit him in his chest because it would have been a touchdown. He looked uncomfortable the whole game. It looked like happy feet. Tua's best attribute is his ability and his decisiveness to get the ball out quick. He's quick with his decisions. That game, he must have patted that ball 400 extra times than he usually does. He didn't look comfortable. It looked like he was trying too hard. And all the throws that he's usually hitting, he just didn't hit. And that's what it came down to. But do I think this is a long-term concern? Absolutely not, because I've never seen it before. I've never seen Tua not be accurate with the football in his hand. So was he absolutely abysmal this game? Yes. And it took him 3 quarters to calm down. It took him 3 quarters. Fourth quarter, I was pretty happy with Tua. He made some big plays in the fourth quarter. And the only thing, I mean, it was a pretty bad play, was that 4th and 2 to Gesicki. I thought that was a shitty thrown ball. I feel like he could have got it out earlier, or at least put it more outside, and it probably would have been a first down. But let's just start with Tua, man. I thought that game was piss poor. Probably the worst game I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I take pride in this show that anytime we come on here, we're going to call it how we see it. We're not here to push agendas. We're not here to defend players. If a player plays like shit, we're going to come on this show and say they played like shit. And Tua played like shit, straight up, man. It was not good. He was sailing throws all over the place. Him and Jalen Waddle couldn't get on the same page to save their lives. I mean, Waddle had 1 catch. I think there was at least 3 balls to him. They were just overthrown, not even close to him. He was bad. He was point blank, end of story, bad. The interception that was intended to Tyreek Hill on the sidelines, terrible throw.
Terrible.
Really, really bad throw. And you got to call it like you see it, man, because this year watching Tua has been a treat. Anytime this guy steps back to throw the football, you're like, who's wide open and where's it going? Because that's been the theme of the offense this year. And I'll say it, the guys were open. They were still open this game. So I'll give McDaniel his credit there. There was guys running open, and there was hittable passes for Tua to make, and he just didn't make them. And that happens in the NFL sometimes, man. Quarterbacks aren't going to play 17 perfect regular season games. Teams aren't going to play 17 perfect regular season games. It doesn't happen, except for the 72 Miami Dolphins. But it just doesn't happen. That's how it goes. Sometimes it just doesn't roll your way, and it was disappointing to watch, man. It really, really sucked. I was sitting there the whole time just being like, all right, Tua's finally going to wake up now, right? Tua's going to just wake up. He's going to snap out of it. Something's going on. He's going to snap out of it. And he just
didn't snap out of it.
Didn't really snap out of it. Fourth quarter, I mean, the throw to Tyreek, the touchdown to Tyreek was a thing of beauty. Absolutely perfect. But outside of that, it just It just was a bad game, point blank from Tua Tagovailoa.
And you made a great point, bro. The wide receivers were open.
They were
open. He just wasn't hitting them. And look, shout out the Niners. They whipped their ass. They were the better team.
Yes.
I didn't even feel like it was the defense that defeated us. I feel like Tua defeated himself. Like the offensive line, by no means was it good. I mean, but by no means did I think it was absolute dog shit either. I thought it was serviceable. I thought it was good enough to win the game. I thought the defense played good enough to win the game. The schemes were wide open. Would I have liked to see a little more balance in the play calling? Yes, you can't run the ball 8 times the entire game. And we'll get into that later, but I want to stick on Tua first, and then we'll get to McDaniel, and then we'll talk about some positive things because there were some positive things. These guys were wide open. Wide open. He's just missing them. It's not like the San Francisco 49ers. Now, they made some plays. But that bad throw that he had to Tyreek, that's not because the Niners defense made a good play. Nope. Him sailing the ball on Tyreek over the middle isn't because the Niners made a good play. That overthrow to Waddle on the sideline was not because the Niners made a good play. That bad ball to Jeff Wilson that could have been caught but really should have been in the breadbasket for a touchdown was not because the Niners made a good play. Now, they got pressure on them, no doubt. And I know that matters, and it could mess up with a quarterback psyche. But our quarterback superpower is being accurate with the football. And that was not what we saw. I didn't even know who I was watching. That didn't even look like Tua. And I'll kind of take that, I don't know, with a grain of salt, I guess, just because we haven't seen it before. So I don't think it's going to be a reoccurring problem. Now, if he goes out there against LA and Buffalo and he looks the same like he did yesterday, I might have to change my opinion. But from what I've seen from him this year, I am not going to be like, oh, nah, he's just not the guy anymore. He's not the guy anymore. Because of one game, I'm not going to do that. Now, if it's 3 straight games, San Fran, Chargers, Buffalo, we have a problem.
Yeah, bro. And like I said to start the show off, we're going to call it how we see it every single time. If Tua plays bad, we're going to let you know he plays bad. But at this point in the season, Tua has earned the benefit of the doubt. He simply has. He's earned that benefit of the doubt.
He's been an MVP.
Exactly what I was going to say. We were talking MVP talk with Tua. He has earned the benefit of the doubt, and one bad game is not going to deter you from that. I see a lot of people get online when the Dolphins play bad, and they want to say, oh, well, we told you Tua wasn't great. We told you this was all fake, all fraud. This wasn't sustainable, this, that, and this. No, bro. Like, what are you doing? Like, that's just a crazy take and a crazy way to live your life, especially if you call yourself a Dolphins fan. You're just a weirdo, in my opinion. He played a bad game. It was a bad game. But do I have the utmost confidence that he's going to fix that shit, get ready for the Chargers on Sunday Night Football and show the world what's going to happen? I couldn't be more ready for that, and I couldn't believe that more myself. And I know Tua believes that, man. This guy is his own hardest critic. You heard him in the post-game press conference. He took accountability. He said it was him, and that's what you got to do. You can't sit back and Zach Wilson it and say, well, it's not my fault. I thought I did my job. No, Tua took accountability. He owned it. It was a terrible game. And let's just wipe it, rinse it, and get to the next one. But another point you said, I thought the offensive line was serviceable, and I thought that's a great word to use because were they good? By no stretch of the imagination were they good, but were they the worst offensive line in the league caliber, like scared for your life? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I will give the Niners their credit. Bosa, absolute machine. Fred Warner in the middle of the field was taking things away. I mean, they had that one play, I think it was the second or third drive, where Tua was going to hit Sherfield over the middle again. Warner makes a great play. So I'm not taking anything away from that Niners defense. I think they're a great unit, best in the league, perhaps.
Greenlaw's a menace. Say that. Best linebackers we played all year. We'll never see linebackers like that again the rest of the year.
Menace. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying
fantastic.
I don't want to take anything away from that team because I think that they're a great team. But I also think Tua just played bad. I think it was a lot of self-inflicted wounds, 100%.
And here's the best part about that. Tua played the worst game of his year, still had 250 plus, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And the Dolphins still had an opportunity to take the lead in the game. We lost the penalty battle. We lost the turnover battle.
Time of
possession, you name it. We were 0 for 7 on third down. And still with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, the Miami Dolphins were a shoulder pad helmet catch away from moving the sticks and probably winning that game because the best defense in the league, we moved the ball up and down on them in the second half. We just couldn't execute. The drive where Tua threw the pick, that holding call on Hunt, dude, we would have had first and goal or first and 10 at the 13-yard line. Instead, we moved back. Now it's first and 25. And then the next play, we throw the Jeff Wilson to an absolute freaking meltdown, changes the whole game.
Yep.
Changed everything. And even through all of that, they still had an opportunity to go down there and win the game. It reminded me of the Jets game. We couldn't do anything right that whole game, and still we had Sanders to go out there to hit a field goal to take the lead. He missed it, and everything ended after that. And that is exactly what happened in this 49ers game. We didn't get the 4th and 2. They took the ball, and they went right down the field. Now, for everyone that's talking about the defense, they played enough. They played well enough to win this game, especially in the second half.
Exactly.
This is what the San Francisco 49ers did in the second half. First drive of the game, punt. Okay, so what do the Finns do when your defense goes out there and gets the stop that you need to come back in this game down 17-10? We throw an interception, gives them a field goal. Okay, defense held them to a field goal. Thank you, defense. Now it's only a 10-point game. So what happens after that? Dolphins get the ball back. What do? They throw another interception on their own 20-yard line. So what are you asking your defense to do? Please hold them to 3 again. What do? They hold them to 3 again. 13-point game instead of an absolute 21-point blowout. Yep. Saved us. How do we respond to that? Finally get a touchdown, and then punt, and then we turn it over on downs. So don't tell me the defense is why we lost the game. Could they have done a better job of getting off the field on third down? Absolutely. But the offense could have done a much better job at least getting 1 first down on third down. 0 for 7. So, yes, the defense had their flaws. But let's not act like they didn't give us a chance to win the game, because they did. The offense just did not execute on those opportunities. And that's how you lose games, when you don't execute.
I agree. We hung around. The defense did enough for us to hang around. It's not like they went out and won the game, took it over, had some turnovers. No, they hung around. They did their job. They had some bad field position. They held the 3 in those spots, and the offense just couldn't get it going at all. So I'll give the defense some credit in that regard. The one spot where the defense really drove me insane was the drive right before the half. The drive right before the half, you can't give up 7 there. You cannot give up 7 points on that drive. But like you said, man, they did enough to hang around. And I don't know about you, but when we went for it on 4th down from our own 20, which we'll get into more later, when we made that, I thought we were winning the game. I was like, okay, defense held us around long enough. Tua hit the touchdown on the last drive. We're going to go down, score, and we're going to win this football game.
And we probably would have.
I don't doubt it. It at least would have been obviously a lot more competitive, but we would have took the lead. We would have took the lead that drive. We were down 6, right? You go take the lead that drive, then who the hell knows? Defense is even more fired up. Maybe they grab another turnover. Obviously, the score got out of hand at the end. The score doesn't really reflect the game, in my opinion. It was a much tighter game than that. But, yeah, man, the offense, they let us down, plain and simple, and it happens. It is what it is, though. You got to kind of call it.
I'm going to break this down into a pie chart. This is how I'm going to break down who is most responsible for this loss. I'm going to say 60% Tua, 30% Mike McDaniel, and 10% on the defense. And I'm just keeping it real. And look, Tua's going to go back and watch the game, and he's going to agree with me. I'm not kicking him while he's down. I have the utmost confidence that he's going to come back Sunday night and ball out, and it's going to be like this never happened. I am not down on Tua. I'm not saying he sucks. He's not our franchise guy anymore, blah, 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 blah. He had a bad game. We need to discuss it, get it out of our system, and just get ready for Sunday Night Football, because he's going to ball against the Chargers. We're going to win that game. I have the utmost confidence in that. That's not even a question. So, yes, Tua played terrible. It is okay to say that. Admit it. Get it out of your system. And just get ready for next week, because he's going to be fine. It's not like Tua's had this accuracy issue his whole career. That's the best thing that he does. It was an emotional game for everyone. Mike McDaniel resurrected his career, and he probably just wanted to return the favor for Mike McDaniel. And in doing so, he probably tried to do too much, held the ball a little tighter than usual, and just made uncommon errors. It happens. You have bad days at work. I've had bad days at work. I've failed some tests. You failed some tests. That doesn't mean you're done for the semester. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get your next paycheck. You just got to show up, get back to work, snap out of it, and fucking move on. And that's it. That's all Tua has to do, and I believe he will do that.
I agree. Like you said, man, it's the accuracy. Like, Tua is accurate. Like, he's the most accurate quarterback in the league. He's the best third down. I don't know if anymore, but he at one point the best third down quarterback in NFL history. So that's just uncharacteristic mistakes. That's out of the norm for him completely. And I'm not making excuses for the guy. Don't get me wrong whatsoever. But I do think that pressure and that 49ers familiarity rivalry played into it, man, because it seemed like he was just pressing. He was just pressing a little bit. And that's kind of what happens, I feel like, when you get those high throws. You're just kind of pressing a little, trying to put a little extra zip, a little extra something, and the ball ends up sailing on you. And it happens. And it's what did happen. He played poorly. I think giving him 60% or whatever you made the pie chart. By the way, your percentages only added up to 90. Maybe you need to go back to school.
Nah, 60, 30, 10. That's 100.
You're right. I need to go back to school. I apologize.
Yeah, you need to go back to school.
But yeah, man, it is what it is. I don't know what much more we could say on Tua. Just a bad game. Got to rinse it. And I cannot wait to get it back on primetime next week. So people that are saying all this negative shit, Tua sucks, I can't wait to shove it down their throat next week against the Chargers. I literally can't wait. It's a perfect opportunity to just rinse it. Make it a blip in the radar. Oh, it happened, whatever, but it's not going to define who we are as a team.
I'm not worried in the slightest about Tua, and I'm not worried in the slightest about this team. And none of you guys should be. Got 106 people watching live. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 5K subs. We can only do that with your guys' help. And if you'd like to donate to the channel, you could hit us on Cash App or on Venmo at NickySmokes1 or Super Chat, as you guys always do. All right, so we talked about Tua, and I'm done kicking him to the curb because he's been great. He's been excellent. I believe in him. He's our franchise guy. I said last week I'm a Tua stan. I am standing by that. It is one freaking game. I am not going to let the emotions of one game override everything that he's done for us this year. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to shift it from Tua to McDaniel. Again, I love McDaniel. I believe he's the best coach that we've had in 20 years. I love that he has the biggest ball sack of all time. That 4th and 2, if it doesn't work, he's being crucified, but it did work, so he's being praised for it. Yep. And I'm down with a coach like that. I'm down with it. Now, a lot of people aren't, and I understand, because if it didn't work and they score 7, we're like, oh my God, he's the biggest idiot in the world. And I would probably say that too. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I wouldn't. But I love the fact that he believes in this team enough to do that. However, where I do have a problem with Mike McDaniel is when it's 3rd and short in 4-down territory and he's reluctant to run the freaking football. Go back to the first quarter. Before the 4th quarter, go back to the first quarter. It was 3rd and 2 on like the 40-yard line. We're on San Fran's 40-yard line. 3rd and 2. It's 3rd and 1, actually.
Yeah.
We call a fake handoff, roll out to Tua's opposite side, and we have this brilliant idea to let Nick Bosa go unblocked, and then we're going to send Jeff Wilson, our running back, to go try to chip him. That doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to do that, run it to where Nick Bosa is not there.
The weak side, yeah.
Or if it's 4-down territory, run the ball on 3rd and 1. What's the worst that happens? You get stuffed, then you go for it.
Yep.
Then you go for it, or maybe you get a yard and it's a half-inch short, and then you run a QB sneak or a fullback dive or something. But even in the first quarter, 3rd and 1, you're calling this play action. You lose 5 yards on a sack, and now I think it resulted in a field goal, or maybe they even punted. I don't remember specifically, but again, bad play call. 4th quarter comes, 3rd and 2, same exact spot on the field. We ran the ball 8 times for 32 yards. We averaged 4 yards per carry. How do you only run the ball 8 times? Because our whole offense is predicated off play action, motion, trying to get the linebackers to commit. If I'm a linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, I'm not biting on that play action. You're throwing the ball 33 times. You've ran the ball 8 times. And then it's 3rd and 2 on San Fran's 45-yard line. And you go back-to-back pass. Back-to-back. Why aren't you running it one time? Get 1 yard. 1 yard. And even if you don't get the first down, at least it's 4th and 1, 4th and inches. You just go back-to-back pass, and it doesn't work. It makes no sense. And it doesn't stop the clock. You are stopping the clock with all these incompletions. Imagine if they run the ball, get the first down, and then they absolutely milk the clock all the way down to 2 minutes, and our defense was buzzing. They were freaking buzzing until the offense got stopped on 4th and 2. He's got to be able to run the ball. Before you go, Bobby, we got a huge donation.
Go to the chat.
We love you, brother. Shout out for the $50 super chat. God bless you. One bad game doesn't define Tua. Was he off? Absolutely. Will he be back next week? Hell yeah, better than ever. I will always have and support and stand by my QB1. Hit that like button, subscribe, and support my brothers. God bless you. We are right there with you, family. We are right there with you. I 100% agree with you. It was one bad game. Does it define him or where I stand with him? Absolutely not. He's the franchise guy. He's the quarterback of this team. He's played like an MVP all year. Great quarterbacks have bad games. Ask Josh Allen what he did against the Jets. Ask freaking Patrick Mahomes when he used to play the Denver Broncos. Ask Tom Brady. It happens. Sometimes it's just not your freaking night. It was not Tua's night. Thank you for the super chat, brother. You have no idea how much we appreciate your love, bro. You have no idea. It means the absolute world to us. Thank you. All right. So what are your thoughts on Mike McDaniel not running the football? Because it needs to be there. Or even if it's not working, commit. Because that freaking play action bullshit, it's not working if you're only running the ball 8 times.
I agree, bro. And it's hard to sit here and criticize Mike McDaniel. Because as we said, there was guys open. There was guys open all day. The scheme was there. But at some point, you do have to give him some questions. And running the ball is one of them. I'm a huge proponent of passing, more passing the better, because in today's day and age, that's how you move the football. But at some point, you got to have a little balance. You got to have a threat of a running attack, because that opens up the play action, man. We thought coming in, this was going to be a run-first football team. When we hired Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins are going to run it. We haven't done that. And I'm fine with that. It's been successful, but we've also been able to sneak in a little bit of a balance. There was no sneaking a balance this game. It was going to be pass. And when you put yourself in positions where you know it's 4-down territory on the plus side of the field or even around the 50, mix a run in once. You go gain 3-4 yards, all of a sudden that becomes such a more manageable play call for McDaniel and the guys. But when you're not doing that, coupled with your quarterback being off, it's not meshing. It's not meshing. If you want to call pass plays all day when Tua is in dialed in MVP Tua mode where he's not missing a gosh darn pass, do it all game long because it's working. But at some point, it's like, Tua's a little off today. Let's settle it down by running the ball. Not to mention, running the ball is going to slow that pass rush down a little bit. They can't just pin their ears back and get upfield every single play. So let's run it a little bit. Let's mix it up. Let's have a more balanced attack. And for the 4th down call, we know what we had in Mike McDaniel. We've been calling this guy Big Balls Mike McDaniel since what? Week 2? Did Tyreek Hill start saying it? So calls like that, I'm with calls like that. I'm cool with it because you know you have a coach that is so confident in his offense and in his quarterback that if you can't go get a couple yards, you don't deserve to win the game. And that's what they went out and did. If it would have went the opposite way, might we feel a little different? Sure, we definitely would. But it worked and it paid off. And that's what a coach has to do sometimes. You got to take a gamble. It's just disappointing seeing some of that play calling, man, because it was there. It was so there. And McDaniel, I mean, and then you have 2 freaking reverses come against him. And I don't know why he was so upset with that one challenge call on Gesicki.
I mean, the one with Gesicki made sense. I get
thought that should have been a catch. You thought that should have been a catch?
No, Gesicki was not a catch. No.
Oh, I agree.
I thought the Sherfield one was weird because he caught it, went to the ground, and then the guy came on top of him. And I feel like he should have just been down by contact. But I know how it is. It's just whatever. I'm obviously biased as a Dolphin fan. I'm obviously going to think Sherfield was a catch. But Gesicki was not a catch.
No.
That was not freaking Tyree or whatever his name was.
I don't know why they were so outraged over that. I never once for a second
thought that was
going
understand?
to be a catch.
Now, obviously, we're saying this because it didn't work. 4th and 2, game on the line. You're throwing the ball to Mike Gesicki?
I know, dude.
I mean, what? The guy has had like 1 catch in 4 weeks. And the game's on the line, and that's the guy that you want to throw the ball to? And don't get it twisted. The best unit on that San Francisco 49ers is their linebackers. Mm-hmm. And those are the guys that are going to be guarding your tight ends. And look who made the freaking play. Why are you going to Mike Gesicki with the game on the line? I didn't even know he was playing the game. I don't think I saw him line up. I don't think I saw his name one time until that play. Why are you going to Mike Gesicki with the game on the line? Why are you not Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle? Trent Sherfield had a great game. River Craycraft, Mr. Reliable. I love getting him the ball over the middle of the field. But Mike Gesicki with the game on the line?
I know,
Why?
man.
I don't get it.
I know. And the thing is if he just catches it normally, we never even have this conversation. You know what I mean? But obviously what happened. And you look back at it and you're like, why? Why Gesicki? I mean, Tyreek Hill, we've been pretty negative. I'll give one positive. Tyreek Hill was unbelievable. He wanted to take that game over, and that's the guy I'm looking for on third down. Like I said it before earlier on the preview, big time players make big time plays in big time games. Tyreek Hill came to freaking play, man, and he is a absolute weapon. So on third down, fourth down, it does surprise me a little bit that he's not getting the ball and they go to Mike G. McDaniel, something was a little off. And again, it probably comes down to that he felt like he was playing with a little bit of pressure. He was calling plays with a little extra pressure, an extra personal factor. It was a personal to him. And that's just the human element that comes into coaching sometimes. So not his best performance, but at the same time, like it was still there. There were still guys open. If we hit some of those passes, we're looking at this game saying McDaniel's getting guys open all over the field. This guy's a genius, but hey, man, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes in the NFL. You got to take it in lumps.
Freaking cookie not crumbling in our direction. Some bitch.
I know.
Some freaking bitch. Oh, another thing that pissed me off with McDaniel was before halftime. So the drive where the Niners went down and scored, we stuffed them on a 2nd and 5 or something. So it was like 3rd and 3. And he accepted this holding penalty. Or something. He accepted some penalty. So instead of it being like 3rd and 5 and the Niners were on their own 20-yard line, he accepts it. And then it went to, that's what it was. So it went from 3rd and 3. He accepts the penalty to 2nd and 8. It's not like it was going to 2nd and 13 or 2nd and 15. Why would you not decline that? He accepts it. And then they get the first down the next play. I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. I think that was one of his worst coach games, worst called games, at least. It was terrible. I thought it was
definitely up there. I mean, it's the only game we've lost where Tua's played quarterback. So a lot of the other games, you kind of start to give passes and say, well, he's calling a game with backup quarterbacks. This is a game that Tua and Mike McDaniel played the whole game, or McDaniel obviously doesn't play, but had the whole game together and didn't win. So yeah, I think it was his worst game. They're both their worst games because realistically, their performances kind of go hand in hand. When Mike McDaniel's on, Tua's on, it's unstoppable. But when one or the other's off, it slows down everything because McDaniel's going to keep that aggressive play calling. We've seen it. He wants to throw the ball. He knows Tua's capable of it. But when Tua's a little off, then it all kind of goes to shit. And that's what we saw happen on Sunday yesterday.
Yep. 100%. 100%, brother. All right. So we talked about all the negative bullshit. I'm not going to sit here, the season's over, Tua had one bad game. Like, shut up, guys. We're 8-4.
Yes.
Like, you're acting like we're 1-7. It's like, pipe down. We're fine. The schedule came out. I didn't have this game as a W. No. 8-4. We knew this is the tough part of the schedule. We knew what we were getting into.
Yep.
That was the best defense in the NFL. You don't go into the San Francisco's 49ers game, oh, man, we got to worry about Jimmy G. Bro, Purdy played good. For a 7th-round quarterback with the pressure we put in his face, he played great. Made
a couple big-time throws. That
throw
like middle over the middle.
Mr. Irrelevant. Dude, this is the NFL. You're on a roster for a reason. We got Kader Kohu, undrafted, starting corner, played outstanding. Dudes make it in this league undrafted, 6th round, 7th round, blah, 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 blah. Yes, it's Mr. Irrelevant, so it just sounds worse. But that kid played great. Tip my cap to him. We put a lot of pressure in his face, and he delivered. So, tip my cap. But that was the number one defense. And Tua played like shit. Shit. Mike McDaniel, shit. And again, with 5 minutes left, they had an opportunity to get a first down and probably score because they were moving the ball at will after Tua's second.
Tyreek was going crazy, bro.
They're going crazy.
Crazy, yeah.
Crazy. And they
finally looked like the Dolphins offense. It was the first time all game where it was like, all right, now I'm finally watching the Dolphins team I've been watching play all this year, because for the first half of football, I'm like, what am I watching right now? Was this Kyle Allen playing quarterback with these throws?
It did not look like
Sorry,
Tua.
I didn't mean to be that disrespectful, but like some of those throws, it's like, dog, who's that going to? But like we said, man, it happens. We're going to wash it, and we're going to go pound the living heck out of the Chargers.
Wash it. I'm done with it.
78% or not 78, 87% chance to still make the playoffs. People are acting like the season's over. We lost. It's done. Our quarterbacks. We're still going to be in the dance.
Like, what do you think? We're just going to sweep the rest of the games and go, what is it? 17 games now, 14-3. We're just going to run through everyone. Look, the Dolphins are a great team, but that doesn't mean other teams aren't good.
Yep.
Come on. Like, relax. We're going to beat the Chargers. If we lose next week, I'll start panicking. I'll buy into all your guys' propaganda. But this is a good football team that had a bad week. We are Dolphin fans. We know what a bad football team looks like. Like, we are used to watching dog shit. And if you want to sit here and tell me that the team you're watching this year is the same as the teams that you've watched the last 10 years, by all means, brother, enjoy your miserable life. Because this is not the same team that we've had the last 10 years. It's not. This is a good football team that had a bad week. That's it. And we're going to beat the Chargers next week. And if we beat Buffalo, in Buffalo, guess what happens? We're back in first. Back in first place. All you got to do is win. Control our own destiny. And as long as Tua doesn't go out there and put up a 19 QBR, I got the utmost confidence in this football team. I do. I'm not panicking. No one should be panicking. You had a bad loss. Get over it. Get over 100%. It.
And that's the NFL, and that's what comes with being a good team. And like the Dolphins haven't been a good team for a while, so maybe it's the fact that we kind of just don't know how to act when we're good. Good teams lose football games. Good teams go out and put up stinkers sometimes. It happens in the NFL. I'm not making excuses. I'm pissed we lost yesterday. I'm still upset we lost. I think it's a winnable game. I'm not just satisfied giving everyone a pass saying, we lost. It's okay.
I was more pissed off that we lost to the Jets with Skylar Thompson than I was yesterday. I was more upset with that Jets game than yesterday.
I don't know if I agree with that. I
just hate losing to the Jets.
Okay, I get that. I get that point of it. But it's just like it happens. It's whatever. We're still going to be fine. And when good teams lose games, it's fine because the next week you have an opportunity to go pound a team, get everyone right back on board. And it's just like it never happened.
And I want everyone thinking, Tua sucks. Please give me that. I want everyone in the national media saying, Tua's terrible. He's the worst quarterback. The Dolphins were frauds. That's where I want everyone. That's where I want them in Buffalo. That's where I want them in New York. That's where I want them in Massachusetts. That's where I want them. I want everyone thinking that the Dolphins were frauds and that Tua sucks. That's what I want. Because if you want to sleep on this team, I hope everyone in the world thinks we're going to lose to the Chargers because of what they saw yesterday against the San Francisco 49ers. I hope it. I pray for it. I pray for it, Bobby.
Seriously. Let them count us out, bro. It's the way to be. I love being in that underdog spot when you know your team's better than them and everyone's just counting you out before it starts. Yep. So please, Tua sucks. The Chargers are free. All that stuff. Please tweet it at me. I'm fine with that.
How about this? So when Josh Allen and the Bills lose to the Jets and Josh Allen plays like shit, and then the next week they choke against the Vikings, or were the Bills just not a good football team? Did they just suck? Were they the dog barrel? Is Josh Allen no longer a good quarterback? No. Use common sense. Use common sense. If you think this Dolphins team is a bad football team, there's something wrong with you. There is something wrong with you. And Armstead should play. If we have Armstead next week, sign me up. Fingers crossed.
He didn't make the trip for nothing, bro. He didn't travel out to California not to play in one of these games. So I think he'll be back. I also thought he'd play last week or this past week. So
Vikings lost 40-3 against the Cowboys. Are they a bad football team? Do the Vikings suck? Are they a bad football team? Let me know.
Nope.
Let me know.
It's the NFL, man. It's the business. It's what happens. Good teams lose games.
Like I said, people are acting like we lost to the Texans.
I know.
We played the number one defense in football. Yes, Jimmy Garoppolo went down. Tip my cap. You don't get worried about playing the 49ers because they have Jimmy Garoppolo.
Correct.
You're worried about playing that defense. Mm-hmm. And again, they played good. The Niners defense played good. The Dolphins did it to themselves. Like, the most accurate quarterback in the league was not accurate.
What are you
going to do?
Yeah, that's just how it's going to go. If that's what you're going to show up with and your quarterback's just not accurate, your chances of winning the game aren't great. So, and like this said, dude.
Great point.
Did you bring it up too? I brought it up too. Oh, we keep doing it. You got it, not me. I keep clicking at the same time.
Tua's first loss. The Dolphins haven't lost a game in 2 months. And there's people out here acting like the world's about to end.
Exactly.
This is his first loss all year. This is Tua Tagovailoa's first loss all year. It was the worst game of his career. It was against the best defense in the NFL. Still had a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter. What are you crying about?
You can't cry, bro. You just can't. It's I don't know. I don't know what it is. This fan base, bro. It's never. It's hard to find the middle of the road. Just kind of going with the punches. It's either you're way up here or you're way the hell down here. So it's okay. It's a loss. It sucks, but we'll wear it. It is what it is.
Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not tripping about it. Anyway, Dolphins got 2 primetime games coming up back to back. Chargers game and then at Buffalo Saturday night, which is kind of gross because we play Sunday night in LA. We're going to have to take like a 2 a.m. flight back to Miami, then do whatever the hell we got to do, then fly over there to freaking Buffalo. But you got to put your big boy pants on.
Yes, sir.
You got to put your big boy pants on. What you about? You're going to have to play on short weeks. You got to go to Buffalo. You got to hold that shit down. But I'm fired up.
I just got my ticket to that bitch,
primetime games, and then Christmas. Woo-hoo-hoo. We picked in OT today, Nikki and Bobby. Thank you, Carlos, for the $2 chat. I don't know what that means. Oh, offensive tackle. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Jeff Fisher.
Yes. That should help. I mean, it's got to be better than freaking Greg Little.
Yeah, man. I mean, Jeff Fisher, former first-round pick, great career. He's coming off the couch. He's a little old. We'll see what he's got left in the tank, man. I'm not upset with bringing in any sort of competition at the tackle position right now. So bring them all in. Any guy that wants to come in, try and play some tackle for the Dolphins, I'm in for it. Nando, we're vibing, baby. We're still vibing. That's it.
I said yesterday, bro, I was never more content after a loss. As bad as it sounds. Dude, we gave score predictions, and the Dolphins, I said they'd maybe win by 2 to 3 points if they were lucky.
One. Yeah.
You said 1. So let's not act like this game was a guaranteed win. No, it was the furthest thing. It was an unstoppable force versus an immovable object. Yep. And we played the worst game we possibly could have. And are you surprised that it came at the most emotionally high game possibly this season outside of week 3 against Buffalo? No. We tried a little too hard. Try to do a little extra things that you usually wouldn't do. I'm glad it's out of the way. And you know what that stimulated for us in week 13? A playoff environment. A good defense that's going to get after you and put the pressure on you. A good environment, talent on both sides, being battle tested. It was like a playoff game almost. And we got that experience at week 13. We dealt with the adversity. And I'm going to judge Tua and this football team on how they bounce back. That's what's important to me. In life, you're going to lose. You're going to get knocked on your ass. And it's the oldest saying in the book. You get knocked down 7 times, you get up 8. Yep. Or whatever the fuck the saying is. I might have messed. I might have just boofed that, but I think I nailed it.
Yeah, you're good.
You stumbled. I'm judging you on how you bounce back. Does it take over your mind? Can you no longer think straight? Can you no longer believe in yourself? Or in Tua's case, can you no longer look yourself in the mirror and say, I am a good fucking quarterback? Or are you going to let this linger and you're going to be back in your mirror and asking yourself, do I suck? That's where the judgment's going to be. I'm not judging you for one game because you've been damn near perfect for the other 8 games that you've played this year. Yep. So I'm not going to do that to you. But you come back next Sunday night, like I know you will, and you fucking bury Justin Herbert. You bury him. You embarrass them. You go on to 9-4, and you fly that fucking ass to Buffalo in the freezing cold on Saturday night, and you show everyone who the fuck you are. That's what you do if you're Tua Tagovailoa.
Dude, I mean, what has Coach McDaniel been preaching since day one? Adversity creates opportunity. Well, there's some adversity for you, and you got the perfect opportunity Sunday night, prime time for the whole entire world to see it, to go get that thing right back. And there's nothing I'd love more than seeing that Niners team in the Super Bowl. I want to see them back, bro. I think if we play our best game, they play their best game, it's a good one. We didn't give them our best game this week, but that's okay because we still have many more games to go out there and have an opportunity to play our best game, show the world, win some games, and do what we're going to do. I still feel just as confident that we have a great team that can go out and accomplish all these things. One loss does not change anything. And, I mean, there were some positives to take away. We've been very negative. I could give you a few positives. Zach Sealer and
Christian Wilkins. Thank you. That was the best defensive tackle game I've ever seen.
Unreal, dude.
He's out there chasing Deebo Samuel like 15 yards down the field making plays. It wasn't Deebo. Who's number 15 over there? I don't even know the guy's name, to be real with you.
Juwan Jennings.
Jennings, something, yeah. Whatever. Bozo. Christian Wilkins is hawking him 15 yards down the field. That was the best defensive tackle game I've seen in a Dolphins uniform. He was unbelievable. Zach Sealer, phenomenal as well. Those two, by the way, they're best friends. Highlight of the game. Those two. They were phenomenal.
Jumping off the screen, bro. They were actually jumping off. Like I went back to watch the Dolphins game today, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to sit myself through this. It always sucks. I always do it, though. You watch the games, you lose. And I got Zach Sealer and Wilkins flying off my screen. Everywhere. These guys were absolutely everywhere. Sealer, and bro, Sealer makes the play of the game on 4th and 1. Fucking shuts down Purdy, and no one's there to help him out, man. No one's there to help out your dog that's eating double teams, stuffing runs, getting to the quarterback. This guy, Sealer and Wilkins, these brothers were absolutely fantastic. And I'll say the whole D-line in general, because the 49ers are known to have a great offensive line. What did we go get 5 sacks in that game? Chubb was getting in there. Phillips was getting in there. The D-line was solid. It's been a negative episode. Sometimes you got to big up your team. D-line was great, and especially those interior guys, Sealer and Wilkins. Fantastic, man. Fantastic.
How about Javon Holland's hit on McCaffrey?
Woo! That had the makings of the greatest story. You got the hit on 3rd down, saves it to 1. Sealer makes the play on 4th down. You get the ball back, you win the game. It just didn't happen. It was there. It was freaking there, dude. It really was, man. Damn, it was there.
I like this comment. Linebacker play's been shit.
It's been soft.
It's been terrible. If we had a guy like Greenlaw, oh my God. Holy shit.
It has been.
Our linebackers compared to the 49ers linebackers, oh my gosh. Night and day. I mean, they make you know the difference between great linebackers and average linebackers. Those guys get after it. They close quick in coverage. Their pursuit to the ball is ruthless.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fantastic. I don't think we'll ever see a linebacker group like that the rest of the year. I don't think there's another one in the NFL that good.
No. The closest I could think to that would be the Ravens with Patrick Queen and Roquan Smith. Those are two dogs right there in the middle.
Ravens suck, but you're
I'm
right.
not talking about the team. Just those two linebackers.
Right,
those are great players. But yeah, dude, we faced the hardest test we'll face all year defensively, more than likely. I mean, the Bills, they got a solid squad over there on defense. I'm not going to size them up, but that Niners team is special. We went toe-to-toe, had an opportunity to win the game, didn't play our best ball and lost. Simple as that.
Yep.
Simple as that.
It's just crazy that we had a chance to still win that game. Like, that's what just drives me nuts. I guess that's the only thing. I don't know. I mean, I'm really not that pissed off, and I am usually the most emotional Dolphin fan of all time after a loss.
I think we all know
I am. But, dude, after that game, like, my girlfriend was so shocked that I wasn't pissed off or upset. Like, I sat over there, put my arm around her, like, gave her a kiss on the cheek, and I was like, yep. Well, you know, the night game's going to start soon. You want to squeeze in an episode of Yellowstone? She's like, what's wrong with you? Like, the Dolphins lost. Like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. Like, we played a good team. It wasn't our day. It just wasn't our day. Like, it is what it is. Like, Steph Curry has off shooting nights.
Yep.
LeBron James has off shooting nights.
Mahomes isn't perfect every game, bro. Go look at some of his numbers. I don't have a great example, but I'm sure I can find one quick.
He didn't play great yesterday.
Exactly, bro. It happens. Off game. Got to bounce back.
You guys aren't pissed off because you're jaded by tailgates and all these things that distract you from what's going on right now. Oh, at first I thought you were talking about I wasn't pissed off because I wasn't hammered tailgating before the game. But what do you mean? What is distracting me right now? What is going on that I'm not aware of? If we lose Sunday, you do realize we cannot lose another game. Yeah, but we're not gonna lose on Sunday. Like that's my whole point. Like we said, we're going to California. We have to split 1-1. And I'm pretty sure 99.9% of the fan base said we're going to win the one in LA. Period. Yep. End of story. That's what I said. That's what you said. That's what we all said. That's what we all said. If you guys genuinely believed we were going to go to California, sweep both teams, and then go to Buffalo and beat them and just win out, God bless you. I'm
optimist.
No shot. I said at best. I said in a perfect world, we'd win both games in Cali and then lose to Buffalo. That was going to be the best case in the world.
Right.
But now, instead of acting like a bitch, walking around moping and poping like a bunch of baby back pussies, you could sack up, put your hands in your pants, grab your nutsack, and be like, hey, we can win Sunday. Let's take that momentum, take it into Buffalo, and beat Buffalo at their own house and win the AFC East. How about shifting your mindset? Accept that it wasn't your week, get the bad week out, and move forward. Now, if this performance happens again against LA or at Buffalo, then I hear you. Then it's like, okay, we have a problem. We're coming down the most important part of the season, and we're not showing up. Then I hear you. Boom. I hear you. Okay, you have a point. But you want to sit here and fucking cry over one bad week. You're just miserable. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, dude. You can't we're not going to come on here and cry and whine and say the season's over, the sky's falling. That's not what it's about, man. Your team loses football games. And I guarantee if any of you were told preseason, hey, the Dolphins are going to start this season 8-4, you signing up for that? You would have put your hand out there so quick to shake that hand and say, 8-4 sounds great. Control your own destiny, looking like a playoff team. Awesome. We're not happy we lost yesterday. We're not like, oh, well, we lost. Who cares? It's okay. No, but sometimes you have to be able to say, we lost the game, didn't play our best performance, and that's that. We can move on from it. We can bounce back, and that's the situation that we're in currently. You're not going to get us up here crying and whining because that's not the reality of the situation.
8-4, second place in the East, a game behind, and people are acting like we're 1-7. Relax. Relax. We're fine. Buffalo 2 weeks ago was the 6th seed. Okay? There's a lot of football to be played, guys.
A lot of football.
Relax. Relax. You win next week, and even if you lose in Buffalo, you could still finish the year 12-5.
Exactly.
12-5. 12-5. If I told you we started on September 11th. If I told you on September 1st, the Dolphins would go 12-5, what would you say to that?
I would have hammered their win
Sign me
over.
up is what I would say to that. Sign me up. Where do I sign? I will gladly take that.
Exactly.
You're still there. Relax.
And the boys in Vegas who make those lines, who are always sharp as a nail, they put us at 9.5 wins this year. They said we'd win 10 games. Team's on a trajectory to go out and exceed those expectations, which should be a beneficial season, and then go to the playoffs and make some actual serious noise. So I'm still so high on this team, but it is going to come down to these games now. And like you've said, man, if we go out and put this performance up versus LA, we're not going to have the same tone. Tone will change. Don't get it twisted. We're saying it was a bad game. It hasn't happened all year. You can kind of excuse things like that, but if it becomes a pattern, a trend, you got to address it, and that's exactly what we'll do, man. Exactly what we'll do.
Got 130 people watching live. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. I know it's a therapy Monday, but you just got to get it out. Got to keep it real. Be with yourselves. It's a bad week. It's okay. It happens, but we're still here. We're still happy. We're still buzzing. We're 8-4. Don't go anywhere. We are fine. Please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 5K. And it's free to subscribe. That's it. If you guys want to donate to the channel, you could Cash App or Venmo at Nikki Smokes or just super chat it. I'm actually going to check now because you guys might have sent it and I haven't read it. And then that'd be a bad look for me. So I'm going to read that right now. No, nothing, which is fine. I'm not going to judge you for that. I just have to check.
Just want to make sure we're not missing out. For sure.
I don't want you to send me it, and then I don't read your question, and then I look like an asshole. So, all right, we're clear. Anyway, do you have any closing remarks? Because I've said my piece. I'm cool with this, man. I'm cool.
No.
Obviously, I don't want to lose games. I'd rather win every game possible. But if you think I'm going to sit here and hit the panic button and say our season's over and Tua sucks, I'm not going to do that because I don't feel that way. And if it keeps happening, trust me, I will tell you how I feel. I am not scared to tell you how I feel. I'm just telling you right now, I am feeling relaxed. And that is saying a lot because I am a lunatic.
Yeah. Yeah, you are. And when Smoke was acting like that, it kind of calmed my nerves, to be honest. But, man, we've kind of touched it. It's a loss. We took accountability. We did not play our best game. And that happens in the NFL. And we're not content with it, but we can live with it. It'll be okay. It's not the end of the world. Sky's not falling. Panic button's not out.
Nope.
We're going to go to LA. We're going to pound them and be right back where we need to be. That's just kind of how I feel, bro. I'm not too low. I'm still feel great about the team.
Me too. I'm going to just leave it at that. I feel great about this team. I can't wait for Sunday night. Make sure you guys come back right here on Wednesday. Same time, same place from 5 to 6 p.m. right here on The Smoke Show. Shout out to everyone that donated. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Thank you guys for giving us an hour of your time. Every single week, we try to fulfill that hour with the best content possible. Let us know in the comment section whether you agree, disagree. Let me know if you're worried or not worried. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Love you guys as always. We'll see you on Wednesday from 5 to 6. And as always, fins up.
Fins still up, baby. Fins always
fins
up.
Are still
you know
up.
how we do it.
My fins will never